Koffee and Tiwa Savage. All right.
Okay.
2 female, 1 reggae, 1 more Afrobeat, Afropop, Afrofusion.
Right.
How do you connect with each of them?
Well, Koffee, I got to say shout out to Palmer, who was or is probably still a music teacher, and I believe he linked with Koffee originally, and he found out that I had worked with Chronixx when Chronixx was extremely early.
Chronixx, yes.
Right. And so he was like, yo, I got this artist. I'd love for you to meet her. And I was like, yo, bring her to my house. Maybe I said something I shouldn't have said, just now. But yeah, people, I still live in Jamaica. You already know. But he brought it to my house in Jamaica, and she was 17 at the time, I think. And she definitely, we just sat in the dining room, and her and Palmer, they played a bunch of songs, and I heard a bunch of songs, and I was like, yo, she's really actually beyond exceptional. She's extremely good. And we started to work. And so I executive produced her first album, but I gotta say, man, I didn't find her anywhere. Palmer was the first one. He brought it to me, and he was like, yo, work with her. So shout out to him every time. And
then all that work there produced the Grammy.
Yeah, man. So I won 1 Grammy. I've only won 1 Grammy, and that was with Coffee Toast. I've been nominated several times.
Okay.
But I've won 1.
With Toast. And Tiwa now, how do you connect with her? Because remember, Jamaica, she's from Nigeria. These 2 things here, again, this is back to Beat Street Records.
Yes,
you
it is,
understand?
man. Yeah, because you start to get the Fela Kuti records and all of that is at Beat Street. Yeah, the African records. But I will say this much. By the time Tiwa Savage comes around, I'm already at a level. So it's not like before. T was very aware of myself and Major Lazer. And so it's a mutual conversation. And we're on tour in Africa a lot, so I meet a lot of these people backstage, and they're a fan of Major Lazer, I'm a fan of them, things like that, And so it ends up being a great collaboration versus Chronixx and Koffee, where it was much more, yo, here's a very new artist that's exceptional, that's beyond good, and I got a great chance to work with both of them.
Getting to that Chronixx situation, how did that come up? Because you know what? I forgot that it was Chronixx before Koffee.
Yeah, man, start to fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one I might not remember. I don't remember who it was that introduced me to Chronixx. It might have been J. Will and Carlene. It might have been, I don't remember who, but I do remember we did the mixtape at Big Yard. And I met him at J. Will at 10A. I met Chronixx at 10A. Them time Chronixx just a twist him locks, brother. Just a twist.
You could see from the mixtape you guys put out, they were just buddies.
Just a twist the locks, man. And him have some song when have nothing to do with Rasta. Like him have some song where I talk about yell and all kind of thing. And they were dope, beyond dope actually, And that's why I always say, man, I wish one day, we could do a Chronixx for Chronixx show with me, Max Glacier, and Soul Supreme. A Chronixx for Chronixx dub plate show. And I'm it's weird to say how confident I am. I would have the most Chronixx on dub just because of that mixtape and the songs that I did not put on the mixtape. Because Chronixx, he started to change, how he wanted to perceive himself, to brand himself.
While doing
so the Rasta thing was happening while the process of the mixtape was happening. And so we have a bag of songs that was on some other topics. Bad. He
had the delivery, he had the essence of Chronixx, just with different words in place of the rest of it.
And I'll tell you no lie, I think no one else I doubt somebody else has those songs. I really think I'm the only one in the world that has those songs. And maybe there's like a Spanish Town sound that have them.
Yeah.
But I think I'm the only one in the world to have those songs. And I don't think the world would ever hear them.
And what were the songs that broke off of that mixtape?
Curtain.
That was on the mixtape.
Start to Fire. No, the biggest one on the Get Free Rhythm, Wall Street.
Yes.
Yeah, man, biggest one. That actually went insane because even though it was a dub plate, everyone was playing it. So I'd go to a party and I'd hear it and it'd be like, Walshy Fire, you tell him Walshy, tell him coming soon. Yeah. And I was like, oh, wow, that's dope.
You played my dub.
I was like, that's dope. But Black Chiney was the same thing. Mm-hmm. And that's why it was like, yo, this is so crazy that my life has kind of gone like this. Because Black Chiney was the same thing where people were playing full-on Black Chiney name at a party and just be like getting the forwards, and that's all that matters, right? Is to get you forward and please the people. So with that being said, you know, I would love that day. One day, Soul Supreme, Federation Sound, and Walshy Fire. We go Chronixx for Chronixx. I see who have the most.
Until the last dub is played, whoever is standing is standing.
Because, but like I said, that would have to be a day that Chronixx would have to host it and be okay with me playing those dubs. But I don't think that'll ever happen, and I don't think everyone will ever hear those dubs ever.
That's wild.
Yeah. This podcast is brought to you by www.twolinedmusichut.com.